Taylor endorses Kamala Harris for president. Sin. Taylor Swift said Tuesday she is supporting Vice President Kamala Harris in the race for president, ending speculation about whether the superstar singer would share her political views ahead of November's election. Like many of you, I watched the debate tonight. If you hadn't already, now is a great time to do your research on the issues at hand and the stances these candidates take on the topics that matter to you the most. As a voter, I make sure to watch and read everything I can about their proposed policies and plans for this country. Swift wrote on Instagram, shortly after the conclusion of Harris' debate with former President Donald Trump, her Republican rival, on ABC News. Recently, I was made aware that AI of me falsely endorsing Donald Trump's presidential run was posted to his site. It really conjured up my fears around AI and the dangers of spreading misinformation. It brought me to the conclusion that I need to be very transparent about my actual plans for this election as a voter. The simplest way to combat misinformation is with the truth. I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the 2024 presidential election. Harris became the Democratic Party's nominee in early August following President Joe Biden's exit from the 2024 presidential race. Later that month, Harris announced Minnesota Gov Tim Walz as her running mate. Swift mentioned Harris' choice of Walz in her endorsement. I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. I think she is a steady-handed, gifted leader, and I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we are led by calm and not chaos. I was so heartened and impressed by her selection of running mate Tim Walz, who has been standing up for lip plus rights, and a woman's right to her own body for decades, Swift wrote. I've done my research and I've made my choice. Your research is all yours to do, and the choice is yours to make. I also want to say, especially to first-time voters, remember that in order to vote, you have to be registered. I also find it's much easier to vote early. I'll link where to register and find early voting dates and info in my story. Swift signed off on the post by calling herself a childless cat lady, alluding to a phrase previously used by Senator J.D. Vance, Trump's running mate, to criticize Democrats. Asked about the endorsement on Fox News Wednesday morning, Trump cast Swift as a very liberal person and said she will probably pay a price for it in the marketplace. In 2020, Swift announced her support for Biden and Harris in their bid for the White House. Swift has spent most of her nearly two-decade career staying mum on politics until the 2018 midterms, when she endorsed two Democratic candidates out of Tennessee. She has since been vocally supportive of Democratic policies and candidates, often encouraging her supporters to vote and advocating for women's rights, reproductive health, and lip plus rights. In her 2020 documentary, Miss Americana, Swift expressed regret for not speaking up about political causes sooner, telling her father Scott Swift in an emotionally charged scene that she felt the need to be on the right side of history. In another scene, she was critical of Trump. A faction of Swift supporters, known as Swifties, have mobilized in the 2024 election cycle, forming a Swifties for Kamala community online shortly following Biden's exit from the race and his subsequent endorsement of Harris. The group, which Swift is not affiliated with and has thousands of followers on X, raised more than $122,000 during its 2-hour kickoff call in August. Speakers included Massachusetts Democratic Senator Elizabeth Warren and singer Carole King. We believe Harris Walz will fight for our rights and the rights of our loved ones and help make this country safer for everyone. Irene Kim, communications director of Swifties for Kamala, previously told CNN.